So I've seen how policy is developed. I've seen how budgets are spent and what the priorities are in law enforcement. And my very first day in there, I look across the room of 20 top managers in the largest local law enforcement agency in the county of San Diego, and they're all white males. So I simply raised my hand, just based on the demographics of San Diego County, where 51% of the population is female. Why do we look like this? And so I think what bothered me the most was the response I got back, which essentially I had neutered every dude in that room. And so that really bothered me. Not neutering them, but the response that I got. So the response was, how dare you question us? We've always done it this way. This is who we are. This is who rises to the top. That was professionally and personally offensive to me. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to do something about it. And so I always believe that starting to create that change, it has to start with me, and it has to start from within the department first. And I truly see that, since I've been at the table now, how we can make changes. But as I continued to try and push for change within, I saw that the very top guy was not having anything to do with it. He was not seeing the value in creating change where we get female investigators. Where we have never had a female, Sheriff's Department flies a huge fleet of helicopters. We've never had a female pilot. What? What do you mean? We have motorcycles where we have deputies that ride motorcycles. Stuff as simple as that. We've never had a female motor officer because they claim, well, if they drop the motorcycle, they can't pick it up. You know, I've seen some fat white-ass dudes out there that cannot pick up a motorcycle. Pardon me for some of the kids in the room, but
I take offense to that.
You know, there are so many things that I see within the San Diego Sheriff's Department that if we can replace the top person in there right now, we can substantially change the narrative in the criminal justice system in this county overnight. Literally overnight. So get this. Then you pile on top of that an opportunity that has not happened in this county since I've been here. And it's been 55 years. You pile on top of that an opportunity where you can change the top prosecutor. Now, there are people out there that need to be prosecuted for crimes. There are people out there that need to go to jail, where they prey on our communities. White supremacists is a perfect example of who needs to go to jail. And number one, yes, they need to belong in the criminal gang database, along with anybody else that identifies as a gang member. But that has to be maintained. It has to be audited. It has to be inspected. The process of criminal justice has to be accountable, and it has to be transparent. And once that is lost, once that trust and transparency is lost, it's lost for a generation. And we are past that tipping point, in my opinion, where in the San Diego Sheriff's Department, that trust is lost. Why does it take 6 women in 1 year, before anything is done, to get an on-duty deputy sheriff who's sexually assaulting women off the streets?
That's right.
In a male-dominated, very masculine environment, you have that reluctance at the very top to do anything about it. And when the very top of that organization is nothing but hetero white males, not that there's anything wrong with them. Maybe that was your reluctance initially at loving me. But
I just like Dominic better.
Well, I can't blame you there. The very top of that organization does not look like the communities we represent. Then we get what we are getting. The sheriff runs the largest crime lab in the county of San Diego and still refuses to test our rape kits until I call him out on it. He opposed state legislation to give female sexual assault victims a voice in testing of rape kits, and to oppose the funding that would come to test all those rape kits. That's offensive.
Yep.
Several years ago, I started a youth advisory group for the Sheriff's Department because I saw the power of our youth and we were not listening to them.
the pushback that I got from within my organization, because what I said was, let's bring them in and let's sit there and listen. What do you mean listen? Why would we want to listen to them? Let's tell them what we do. Let's tell them how we do it. Woo. I think that's completely wrong. We have to listen to our kids. Because hopefully one day, these kids from Generation Justice will want to take my job.
Yes.
That is why I do what I want to do. There is no reason that any one of those kids couldn't take my job. And I want to be that person at the top of this organization that sets in motion policies and decisions so that it's their choice if they want it, not somebody else's. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. There is a unique opportunity in this town to change the narrative, to change the direction of law enforcement, to stop mass incarceration, actually have a goal of reducing jail populations, institute reintegration over incarceration, stop incarcerating our homeless simply because they don't have a place to live. That's right. And I'm very glad that the city of El Cajon dropped charges. Because now I can hang out with Michelle Crew again. I was very worried because in law enforcement I cannot hang out with criminals. So I was worried I couldn't hang out with Michelle anymore.
So where do I fall into the category?
There's no help for you now.
As long as he stays my client.
Is Bill Flores still here? Where's Bill
He had
Flores?
to leave.
He had to leave. So there was a person here tonight that I haven't seen in a real long time. He is a retired, what's called an assistant sheriff on the sheriff's department, was there many, many, many years, and he never knew it, but I watched his progress. He was way ahead of me. He's way older. I can say that now, he's not here. He's actually Victor's campaign manager, and he retired from the sheriff's department and still remains an advocate for what's right for communities, especially communities of color. And I just wanted to just publicly say thank you to him for, because he really kind of put me on the pathway to do this. 33 years in the sheriff's department. I could retire, be in Cabo, or maybe if Dominic would want to go there, but I don't know. But retired instead of doing this. But I saw that we have an opportunity, all of us, and this is certainly not just about me, but an opportunity in which we can change the narrative in this town going forward for generations.
Yeah.
That's what excites me. That's what's got me here. That's what's got me here. That's what's got me actually knowing Mark Lane now. I'm like, really?
Oh yeah, that's what's got me hosting this party. Like,
that's
honestly,
true.
like,
Real.
honestly,
Shane,
yeah.
Shane, early on, Shane comes to me and she goes, you know what? We're not going to agree on a lot of stuff because I don't like cops.
That's why Shane's my activist.
My dad
soulmate.
used to work for him. My
Right?
dad was a deputy and worked for him in the same department, it turned out. And
I didn't know that.
So, I remember for a minute, but it's interesting because I was kind of like, okay, I got invited to go to a party for him, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Michelle,
no.
thanks for taking me. And
And she invited me to go to that party, and I said, I ain't going.
yeah, and I
You
went.
came to the second one.
I did.
Yeah, he did. Because I went and I listened and I asked questions and he could actually answer them. And the bottom line is this: somebody's going to be sheriff.
Right. Right.
Somebody's going to be sheriff, and this is a whole lot fucking better than what, like, a whole lot fucking better. It's basically the main progressive points that we as educators, my teacher folks in the room, it's like, oh, you want to stop the school to prison pipeline? Awesome. You want to stop racially profiling our kids and incarcerating their parents because they can't make bail? Awesome. You want to stop targeting homeless people or poor people because they're just homeless or poor? Thank you.
And the corporate prison system.
Right, and the for-profit prison system, and that's something he didn't mention because the current sheriff. You want to talk about that?
You're on a roll. Keep
The
going.
current sheriff is like, sure, Civic Corps of America, CCA, who's like literally like investors are making money off of snatching people off the street and putting them in jail.
He probably owns stock.
Don't even get me started on my
I mean,
But-
that's every single phone call people
Right.
make. That's every single
Right.
visit. They get so much money on
Right.
everything.
So
And
the sheriff
toothpicks.
runs the jails, right? So 6,000 inmates per month. Do you know, let's talk about bail reform.
right.
Do you know the sheriff, even though the judges set the bail, thank you, Victor, soon to be, judges set the bail, but the sheriff can waive bail. The sheriff
Right.
can release, even though a bail is set, the sheriff can say, has that ability to say, I'm releasing you on your own recognizance, regardless of bail being
Right.
set. Do you know there's such a thing as once somebody's convicted of a crime, the sheriff could do what's called sheriff's parole. Sheriff has the authority, regardless of what the sentence is, to release a person on sheriff's parole.
There's a lot of discretion. There's a
Huge.
lot of discretion, and it comes from whoever's sitting up at the top. And it really impacts all aspects of the criminal justice system, the way the courts are run, the way the crime labs are run. I mean, do you want to worry about our parents going to court and getting snatched out of there by ICE? Neither, he's not going to let them in either. So there's a lot of like big picture, holy shit, we could really change shit in San Diego if these two get elected.